Allow me to free your mind. With the release of Matrix Resurrections now in theaters, there are exactly 5, plus an honorable mention, movies that you need to see in the Matrix series. I've uploaded them all to my mainframe recently and can help you sift through, by importance, what you need to see and what you don't. Honorable mention, Bound. When The Matrix was first released, it was lumped into a category known as techno-noir. Eventually, it got away from that sort of Philip K. Dick connection and moved into a more techno-futuristic connection, jettisoning its original noir roots. The movie Bound was everything that was rooted in. It's got the old house, it's got the fancy camera moves through the building, it's got 2 leggy dames ripping off some mean gangster. It's got just a total tone and vibe that the second movies after the first Matrix lose. So I would recommend seeing Bound. It's one of the better movies by the Wachowski sisters. Number 5, The Animatrix. To excite audiences and create buzz for the release of Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, this series of cartoon shorts was released to give backdrop to those movies and help maybe explain what happened after Neo's first adventure and to prime the audience for the new movies to come. If you're not a particular fan of animation, I would recommend skipping this one, but if you must immerse yourself in the entire Matrix world and understand all of the references, this is a must-see. Number 4, Matrix Revolutions. I find the 2 sequels after the original Matrix to be very similar films. Together, they feel like one giant Netflix series. They're subpar to the original movie, and many times the tone goes up and down like a roller coaster, almost like it needs episode breaks. The first sequel, Reloaded, has a tendency to just sort of talk in circles. This movie continues to talk in circles. I wouldn't recommend watching this without seeing Reloaded. That's why it's lower on the list. It's less interesting, as well as it's dependent upon seeing the other 2 movies before it. Number 3, Matrix Reloaded. As I stated, this is pretty much the same movie as Matrix Revolutions. The 2 work together in a pair. You can't watch one without the other or enjoy one without the other. Of the 2, I find this to be the most entertaining. I enjoy the scenes with the architect. I enjoy the introduction of the Merovingian and his 2 weird dreadlocked ghost henchmen guys. But sadly, the 2 original Matrix sequels are somewhat forgettable. Number 2, Matrix Resurrections. The long-awaited sequel was a massive disappointment. As reboot gets, it felt like The Matrix Awakens at many points. Our hero in the movie has heard of these people from the original movie, and they just love them, and oh, you're so-and-so, I wanted to meet you. The movie itself just goes too far into itself, and it starts to create a bit of insanity, and it's self-referential of the situations under which it was made. It explores movies that things like Being John Malkovich or Adaptation explore. It's not a good Matrix sequel, but it's an interesting movie to talk about with people. This movie, it loses all the stuff from the first Matrix, where the stuff that takes place in the Matrix is green, but the stuff that takes place in the real world is shot with a blue filter. So the real world's cold, but then the Matrix world has like that green DOS, like the Matrix Code feel to it. I miss all the noir stuff, the rainy nights and the old cars and just all of that's missing. It needs to be there, but we're so far away from that. This is shot very bright and happy, and it looks like garbage a lot of times. It looks rushed. Keanu kind of hands the reins over. I really wouldn't be surprised if Matrix ends up as a TV show on the HBO Max streaming. Disappointing, but it's fun to talk about and dissect. The big thing I don't like about this movie is it's just going to contribute to more of the Captain Marvel, Last Jedi, new He-Man, all of it with the culture war. I don't really want to hear it anymore. But the thing is, I feel like if anybody should give us that message, it should be the Wachowskis, or just the one Wachowski at this point. The other one dropped out because she wanted no part of being involved in this. I can't blame her, although they were going to, as the movie says, they were going to make it anyways. So, might as well get in there and do something interesting with it. And they kind of take a lot of shots at Warner Brothers for making them make this in this movie, which is really weird. It's not a good Matrix sequel, but it's an interesting thought exercise that's now on film. So Number 1, The Matrix, one of the few A-pluses I've ever given out. Sits alongside Pulp Fiction as one of the best movies of the 1990s. Not only does it feed one's desire for intellectual thought and questioning, but it also feeds one's desire to see people get kicked in the face in slow motion. Arguably a perfect movie. So there you go, there's the 5 best plus an honorable mention Matrix movies you need to see to immerse yourself in a world beyond ours. You have yourself a red pill kind of day, Mr. Anderson.